It won't have escaped the attention of all of you that we're getting towards the vinegar strokes of our mini project.
And that's led many of you to panic about where you're going to get your monthly bracket fix. So we thought we'd do a quick public service announcement to assure you that there is indeed life after death's horse. We do have 1 or 2 projects lined up.
The first of which is a car many of our regular viewers may well recognise.
Yes, that's right, it's our Peugeot 205 GTI rally car.
I originally built this car about 20 years ago to compete in a restricted one-make championship. We had to run a bog standard engine, standard gear ratios, keep the normal brakes and all the suspension, as well as running all the steel body panels and a full complement of glass and interior. But among a field of identical cars, this one was actually pretty competitive.
We had an awful lot of fun in this car, and the 205 Challenge Series was brilliant. All the cars had to be dynoed before the season to make sure no one had built a monster motor, and the camaraderie between the competitors was terrific.
After some good results, we had to leave the championship due to time and money constraints, and instead decided just to go and do a few scattered national events a couple of 3 times a year. Unfortunately, in the much less restrictive classes, the car's no longer competitive.
To improve our chances in this class, we developed a 16-valve engine that showed real promise until a component failure on the dyno somewhat tempered our enthusiasm for the whole thing.
I've been promising myself for a few years now that as soon as Binky's finished, we're heading back into the forest. But there's not really any point with 20-year-old tech and a non-competitive car. So, we need to make it faster.
So what we need to do is continue the development of our 16-valve engine we had in it and add some lightness.
And wide track it.
Right.
And put a body kit over it.
Okay.
And extend the cage.
Right.
Put better brakes on it.
Okay.
Change all the rear suspension.
Yep.
Update the seats and belts.
Right.
Do the extinguishers. Rewire it.
Hopefully that won't take too long, because then we've got this.
If you follow us on social media, you may already know what this is. If you don't, this is an MG X-Power SVR. A symphony of British design, Italian manufacture and American muscle, all dressed in a very lightweight, all-carbon party frock. In the industry, this is known as the car that bankrupted 3 companies. We're desperately hoping we won't be the 4th. Starting out life as a Data Massa project in the mid-90s, it was eventually taken over in 2001 by MG Rover as the platform for a new Halo model for the company. It was completely restyled by none other than Peter Stevens, who penned the legendary McLaren F1 road car. It was given an entirely carbon fibre outer skin and was powered by a 5-litre Ford modular engine, although now you'd probably put a Coyote in it. MG Rover went bust in 2005, and we think this is possibly the last ever Rover.
Why only possibly? Well, the last car finished and sold was number 161. This is number 162.
Numbers 163 and 164 are listed, but we're not sure if they ever made it to production. Don't let the numbers fool you, this is very rare. They only completed something like 86 cars in total. They were assembled on a 3-station line, and this car was abandoned after station 1, which included fitting the tank, the diff, brake lines and the steering column. It still sat on its original production line trolley. So we need to pick up where they left off and put it all together.
A relatively straightforward project then, so why are we teasing you with it now? Well, yes, it's easy enough to get an engine and box to go in there, and we've got a lot of the other parts that were destined to go on the car on the production line. We are, however, missing a few key components, and we need help.
We need to beg, steal or borrow to get scanned, a pair of front lower arms, and a pair of rear uprights and stub axles. Oh, some glass would be nice too. Drop us a line if you think you can help with any of what we need for this project.
So there you go, there's nothing to worry about. Plenty of things to do after we finish Binky. So, best get on with it.
Oh, Nick, you forgot to mention it.
Yeah, don't worry about it, mate. No one's going to be interested in a rear-wheel drive 6-litre classic Ford.